This is Grizz's workshop. This scruffy-looking mofo is Grizz.
Not an expert, not an exemplar of safety. Proceed at your own risk.
My grandma's been in a nursing home for so long that we have to start emptying the house so it's ready to be sold. And one of the items we removed was this rather lovely sideboard. That was to be left to me in the will. Yes, I'd call it mid-century because it was made on the 6th of September 1951, but it is certainly not modern. It's quite an old look, but lots of sentimental value to this. But we go from having my work planned out where I'd be making some more sculptures to all of a sudden having to try and incorporate this big bit of furniture in my house. Mrs. Grizz wasn't having it downstairs in the lounge, so I had to move it upstairs. But to do that, I had to remove several shelves and my desk, which was attached as part of the shelving system. So I took it all apart. So this is me making a desk out of some of the scrap wood. So this is the original desk. This was hinged on one side, basically so I could get close to the TV if I needed to change that. So I cut the heads off. The two parts of the board, because there was two parts of the desk, because there was a bit at the back where the monitor was on that never moved. I cut them both to size, and now what you see, we just cut there were the stretchers that would make up the box at the top. I was going for an old style, similar to what I used to have when I was at school years and years and years ago. We'd have a flip top, and you could keep stuff in the box below and then work on the top. Cut the legs to length. Cut the box sides to length. And then I made these angled pieces to go at the front as just a little bit of decoration. My legs, they are 2x2s, quite tall, perhaps a little taller than I should. And then I brought them to my router table where I was making a groove in each of them to hold the stretchers at the top that would make the box. So I was doing that on two sides, increasing the depth as I went along. I used myself a tapering jig. This is just a temporary one. There are some great videos online of people making jigs that you can adjust to different angles, but this was just get it down and out of the way so I can get on with the jobs. Now these hold down clamps were a lot smaller than what I thought they were when I ordered them. This is a proper Timu job. I was originally going to try and go without them, but when I did the first cuts it was a bit sketchy and I thought I'd be better off with something that holds them down permanently. So all four legs now tapered. I really like them tapered. I'd never really made anything tapered before, so it's the first, and yeah, I like them. I did clamp the two legs of each pair together to make sure that they were the same length and clamp them up as such. So both the front and the back were identical lengths. I checked the distance from the top to the bottom to the start of the taper just to make sure again that they were consistent all the way down. Let them dry up overnight, and the next morning I came to glue them together. I used my tape measure to make sure that it was square, and then on go the sides. I've put tape down on the flip side of the desk so it doesn't stick because I want it to flip. But the back, that's going to be screwed down, and so it was. I screwed the sides in with just one screw. That's just there to keep it until it dries. Underneath so I could stick a bottom on. So I thought I'd do one the whole length. This was a bit of a mistake because I just seem to ignore that hole. And now when it comes to putting in my monitor bracket, it's not going to go all the way in. But anyway, I proceeded ahead without knowing at this point, and I cut the base to size. Two of them, they were the two old shelves on my former unit, and then I put them in the bottom, stuck them on. I put the front on, as you can see, and it was at this point when I was filling holes from its previous use, I realised that the support wasn't going to go all the way through. You see those dowels go in, I cut them off with a pull saw and then come back in with block plane. Chiseling away, trying to make a gap for the computer, the monitor support to go in. Now I used tape in order to cut the hinges off. Now, I've seen someone do this, I can't remember who, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. And although it helped, I mean, I still made a pig's ear of the hinges, but well enough to work, and then apply some fill around the outside. This took me just 2 days to build, which is quite quick for me. But like I say, I wanted to get on with other projects and get this installed so I could make a video, because I couldn't do a video without a desk. So the desk took quite a lot of sanding, particularly where I tapered, and everywhere else not so much. Just some of the old plywood was a bit dirty, so giving it a bit of sand and refresh on top was the most important thing. And obviously where those downs were put in, making sure they were smooth. And to lose all the footage of me putting the round over on the desktop. Once the sanding was finished, I wanted to apply some wax. This is just homemade wax paste. It's a bit hard, I like to rub it in as much as I can, and occasionally I'll come back with a heat torch just to melt it down a bit so it's easier to put in. Legs are just pine 2x2s. They have been planed and square on all 4 sides. So apart from the scrap wood I already had, I only spent £11 on those sides of the box and the legs. It's quite a frugal little desk. Again, wax on the top. And a bit of heat from the blowtorch there just to partially melt the wax so it can be pushed into the grain, give it a bit of protection. And here we go, all finished, all ready for its new room. Plenty of storage under there, more than I'll ever need or want. I'm going to end up back in the room, and that's what it looks like. Thanks for watching.
See you next time on Grizz's Workshop.